Alright, it's your boy, VaJohnna, back again with another Tutorial Tuesday, and today I'll be talking to you about another tech-based movement that will help you improve upon two things. The first being separating your fingers like this, and the second being dialing your fingers one at a time like this while also undialing them like that. This tutorial is beginner and intermediate, and I say that because if you're not good at those two things individually, it might make it a little bit harder for your brain to tell your hands what to do when you're trying to do both of them at the same time. And then after I explain the movement, I'll show you how to make it a little bit more complicated, not too complicated, but even still, this was where the intermediate side comes in. So let's get to it. The exercise starts by having one hand on top of the other. It doesn't matter if it's your left or your right hand, the movement will hit both of those, or you can start with your left hand on top. I'm going to start with my right hand on top for this video. So you start by choosing a direction you want to move towards. I'm going to choose to go to my right. And so if I'm going to my right, I'll separate my right pinky and left pointer finger from the rest of my hand. So you go like this. And what that does is it creates a dial of 2 fingers here and a dial of 6 fingers here. And I call it a dial because to me a dial isn't only when your fingers are like this or whatever. A dial is also when your fingers are just on top of each other in any combination. So it could be like this, like this, like this. All those are still dials. So back to the exercise. So I'm moving towards my right, so I will separate those two, and then you undial them and redial them on your ring and middle finger respectively. Then you separate the fingers you just dialed upon from the other 4, these 4, and you have this dial here. Then you undial those and redial them there. Then you separate from these 2, and then you undial and redial. That gives you your stack of 8. Then you separate your hands from each other, and you can either put your bottom hand on top, or you can take your top hand and put it on bottom. It doesn't matter because you end up in the same position. And then you undial your ring and middle fingers and dial them there, and then you close, and then undial, redial, close, undial, redial, close, and you're back in your starting position, except your hand that started on the bottom is now on the top. Then you just go ahead and go through the movement again. Undial, redial, spread, undial, redial, spread, undial, redial, separate, undial, spread, close, undial, redial, close, undial, redial, close, and you're back at your starting position with your right hand on top or your left hand on top if you started in that way. And so that's pretty much it. You can do it both ways, like I said, and it'll help you improve upon those 2 or 3 things, whichever way you look at it. And how you make this exercise a little bit more not complex, but a little bit more taxing on your mind-muscle connection is you take your hands and you separate them and put them next to each other. So you separate, dial, separate, dial, separate, dial. And why this is more difficult is because you don't have your hands to like help your other hand isolate upon. So if you're not really good at isolating and just going like this, then I would say start with the beginner version. If you get a little bit more further along with the exercise and you want to take it to the next level, that's when you separate your hands and do it in that way. So this exercise can be used as a dexterity exercise, or you can use it as a concept in your light show. And if you choose to use it as a concept in your light show, I really hope that you take it and you turn it into some other cool ass shit, because I like seeing dope ass shit, and I don't want to see people only doing the stuff that I do. And if you choose to do it as just a dexterity exercise, I really hope that it helps your dexterity get to the next level. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to shoot them my way. If you want me to do another tutorial on something, feel free to ask. Or if you want me to do like a concept theory talk, I've done that before, hit me up. So yeah, Use my code VaJohnna at futuristiclights.com. Get yourself some ions or atoms for this festival season. They both are dope as fuck. Peace.